So this is my first time camping on BLM land. I don't know where to park my car. There's so many options and you don't want to get like too close to people, but you know, in case of an emergency, I do want to make sure that I'm good. So I don't know how we're gonna do this. I'd like to go over there somewhere. Where that van is like so ideal. Nice. Good job, man. This is wild. I'm so excited. And so nervous, but like it's a good nervous, right, Mija? Right? Welcome to Quartzsite. Mija's eating the kibble that fell out of her bowls. I'm going to do some computer work and then paint that beautiful scenery. I moved my camp spot. I am now directly by the road, which as a first-time BLM camper, I'm gonna go ahead with it because it's not a big deal, it's fine. I was born and raised in larger cities. Spent 10 years in New York living on Myrtle Avenue in Brooklyn, and it was a major street, so I feel safest when I'm around other people, but I also want to be respectful and give people their due space. So here we are. I am gonna get my second chair out. The second chair is so that since I am on the major road, folks think there's two people here and I'm not alone. That is solo travel camp safety. I need to look up this thorny plant that's all around the campground. I wonder if it can pop a tire. Probably not, right? Can't be good for the tires. All right, I gotta get to work. I just woke up and I have to pee. I'm gonna do it, I just need to commit. Here's a fan over there. But I gotta go. Alright, now we need our cup. Come over here. Clean water, dirty water. Oh boy. I'm really glad I peed already. I did a little bit last night, but then I swore I heard the sound of like a panting dog. In my head, it was a coyote. And I freaked out. Okay, now to wash this, which I really, really hate wasting the water, but I just gotta clean this off a little bit. Okay, so I just poured some water on top of it. And I'm gonna there we go. It could be cleaner, and when I get to a restroom, I will clean it very well. But now our teeth are brushed, and it feels so much better. Okay. How you feeling, girlfriend? You still have all these little things in your hand? Hmm? There's a person walking past there. No one can be near us. She will let me know. Or it's not so much that they can't be near us, but she'll know. Anyway, I'm getting dressed. I'm going to redo my braids. Maybe I'll do something different today. Let's get ready a little bit differently today. I'm not going to do it on camera, but we'll see once I'm done. Okay, we are dressed. We're going to head over to the gas station area, even though it's in the opposite direction of where we want to drive to, because my mom and dad are nearby. So I figure, let me go give them a hug. Even if it's just a short hello, that'll be nice. I just gotta fix this. Okay. All right. To the gas station.
Your ideas.
What my ideas? What do you mean?
Yes.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Hi.
You and your ideas.
What ideas? I just had the sweetest little breakfast with my mom and dad. Miha waited for us in the car. They are off to Phoenix, and we are off to our adventure. Okay, so we have the directions pulled up on the map for the Fisherman in Tagilo. The Fisherman in Tagilo, I think that's how you pronounce it. A rock formation that's been here for thousands of years. So today, on the National Day of Mourning, we want to spend time learning about the indigenous communities that have been on this land for millennia. Christopher Columbus didn't discover shit, and the Pilgrims were little bitches. So that's where we stand on that. Okay. Okay. All right. Must be this way. So in the 1970s, Native Americans from Plymouth declared this to be a national day of mourning in recognition of the genocide that many celebrate as Thanksgiving. We don't do that in this place, in this channel. We talk about the real history, how pilgrims brought diseases and that wiped out so many communities long standing and existing here. And we are going to reclaim that history and use today as an opportunity to learn more about our indigenous relatives, ancestors, and friends who really make this land what it is, who take care of this land. This is a day to, this is really what land back means. It means returning to indigenous knowledge for stewardship of our lands. Land back is a verb, and to do that, and when we do that, we will reverse the human-caused, the capitalist-caused effects of climate change and global warming. What do we got here? Let's see. What can we learn? So here's a little brief history. What is the National Day of Mourning? So since the 1970s, Indigenous people have gathered at noon in Plymouth, Massachusetts to commemorate the National Day of Mourning on the U.S., also known as the U.S. Thanksgiving holiday. They gather in honor of their Indigenous ancestors and in honor of the Native resilience that has been practiced. This day is a day of remembrance and spiritual connection, as well as a day of protest against the racism and oppression that Indigenous people continue to experience worldwide. So there's 3 ways in which you can recognize the National Day of Mourning. One is to stream the event, which is taking place. It's 11:38 now, so in about 20 minutes. We won't be doing that, but you can text the Land Acknowledgement Hotline at 907-312-5085 with your city and state to learn more about which native lands you are residing on. And lastly, educate yourself on Indigenous history, which is what we're doing here today. And here, the intagilo, or the geoglyph before you, tells you an important story of the Native Americans of the lower Colorado River region. They had an oral tradition that was, passed down through generations. And this hieroglyphic tells a little bit about the mythological story of God, or Kumastamo, who thrusted a spear into the ground to make the almighty Colorado River. So as we were walking past it, it's kind of hard to tell here, but the hieroglyphic is embedded onto the ground area space. You really, let's see, how can we come around it here? So you can see it better, kind of like an outline there and there. Let's keep walking. So what I just shared with you right now are not my words, but I want to make sure that I am properly crediting that information I just shared was a brief introduction from the United Federation of Farm Workers, or the United Farm Workers Federation. So I love that they shared it, because today is also a day to recognize our farm workers. They're the ones who we are thankful for. If you are enjoying a big feast, please do so and give your thanks to farm workers who picked your food, and really take some time to remember the indigenous communities on the land that you reside on. I know it's hard for people to be like, well, this is like our time that we get a day off. Like, there's a reason for that. There's a reason because of our colonial capitalist systems that only give you these days off. That's not an accident. Let's see. What else do we want to share? Do you want down? Hold on. Okay. All right, hold on. You can't go too far. And please remain respectful. All right, tell me, huh? Okay. So, to share a little bit more about the National Day of Mourning, it's a day to mourn the genocide of the millions of indigenous people resulting from European settler colonialism. Land back is not just about returning the land, it's about restoring the balance between people and the planet. This is from NDN Collective. They are an organization that is a collective of Native American indigenous folks who are really advocating for what land back looks like. So what would that look like exactly, right? I think that's what a lot of people wonder, like, what am I supposed to like leave my space? Well, land back is a relationship with our Mother Earth. It's not that it's just symbolic, it's a way of reclaiming stewardship. It is bringing Native people forward towards liberation and sovereignty through a long legacy of warriors and leaders who've sacrificed their freedoms. It's a future. Land back is a future with Black reparations. Land back means that only when Mother Nature, when Mother Earth is well, can we all be well. Because we are land. And so what I've really enjoyed, or what I've really kind of taken from the land back movement, is recognizing the nature that lives within me. So how do we all participate in the land back movement? Well, one way is to reclaim our education. So we're taught this like really ridiculous story of Thanksgiving, and it's truly about time that we start to use our education systems to stop spreading the false narrative about Indigenous people from Christopher Columbus and the encounter of Indigenous people on Thanksgiving. Like that, the more and more we continue to sit here pretending like it was some like cute little potluck that the Pilgrims and the Indians did, the more ingrained these false narratives come into our zeitgeist, and the harder it is to really have liberation for all. It's all connected. So Indigenous led and designed schools, like there's so many around. One of them that the Intersectional Environmentalist and the NDN Collective shared is called the Oseti Skawonen Community Academy. Is an example of how we re-indigenize our schools and we learn the real history. We have to center Indigenous culture, traditions, and life teachings within our schools. And really, I feel like if we all just kind of look into that, we would see how it has already influenced so much of our lives. And I think that people can really relate to it. And, you know, it's easier said. I mean, it's easier to be done than we can imagine. We have to support Indigenous language and stop the erasure of Indigenous language, and also build a vision with the expansion of Indigenous land stewardship. So, you know, all this is on the Bureau of Public Land Management, and it's like literally handing over the keys of this land and being like, hey guys, how can we best take care of this space to make sure that all of this beauty stays alive? I want to keep walking to where those things are. Come on, Mija, this way. She has an upset tummy, so I'm keeping an eye on her to make sure that she doesn't have diarrhea on somewhere, you know, special or important. But here you can see the spear, the fisherman. This way. Come here. Come here, this way. You want to come back up here? You want to come back on the thing? Let me put her back up on me. Okay, I got her back on my chest here. We're gonna keep walking. I need her to eat more kibble because her tummy is not feeling well. She's had too much deli meats. This is my fault. Maybe some coconut oil will help her poop. Me too, honestly. We're both gonna have a spoon of coconut oil right now. Haven't pooped in a day. What, Mija? What? Oh, okay. We are so grateful for this land that we get to live on. We get to travel and see so many things before us. It's really amazing how people are able to distinguish these hieroglyphics. They're not called hieroglyphics, geoglyphics, because they're on the ground. Indigenous-led land management practices have been proven to preserve biodiversity and combat deforestation. So the indigenous stewardship emphasizes harmony with our ecosystems over the extraction and exploitation that we've come to see them operate in. Traditional ecological knowledge promotes regenerative systems that enhance the soil's health and protect our water resources and sustains wildlife, and also provides more sustainable and just alternatives to monoculture and the industrial agricultural industry. Indigenous governorship models localize decision making and can prioritize intergenerational equity, protection of our resources for future generations, and prevents the exploitations from extractive industries. So, like fracking, for example. Land back is a verb. Land back means a world in which we center traditional ecological knowledge. This has been around for generations and generations. It requires very little of us, but what it does require, it requires our discomfort from what we've known as ease, quickness, and we'll learn that things will become easier, will become how quickly our systems, our internal systems will recognize it's within us to move within nature, to move accordance to nature. So it's almost noon, a time that we're gonna just like sit quietly and remember all of the indigenous peoples who have been displaced, who have been murdered, who are continuing to be displaced and murdered. The Land Back movement is entwined with a free Palestine and Palestinian liberation. We are in support of all indigenous peoples. Now at noon, we're going to take a moment and send our prayers to all of our indigenous brothers and sisters for their fortitude, in honor of their resilience, in honor of their continued efforts for land back. So my quick research says that the Hohokam tribe was the first peoples to inhabit this area. They lived in the Sonoran Desert of North America. So today that's who we're honoring with this interlago of the Kumastamo. So this was the story of their god, Kumastamo. So this is a very sacred site that we have the pleasure and honor to experience today on the National Day of Mourning. All right, well, we can't leave Quartzsite without painting the scenery, and I've been talking about painting it for the last few days. Today is gonna be the day. Gotta get Miha's seat ready, power up our power stations at 20%. So let's get ourselves prepared. You wanna sit? You wanna play? You wanna play? Go get it. I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get it. You're like, leave me alone. Okay, come here. Come here. There you go. Let me get my other seat. That's the scenery we're gonna try painting. This is our setup. Okay, what else are we missing? I know. A work in progress. This is just our first base layer, and I'll add some details and try to make it more dimensional later, but for now we're going to put everything away. Miha is in the car now. The sun has been strong. Let's see how the charging has been. We're at 42. Great. So we like doubled in that time. We got here. What time did we get here? Let's see. So we've been here for like 3 hours. And it doubled in charging from where it was. So not terrible. We have like a 2-hour drive, so that should hopefully charge us up a bit more. But I'm feeling really good with what happened right now. At 52 watts. Sun's directly hitting it. We'll keep it going until we are absolutely ready to go. But for now, I'm going to pack up the chairs and get my maps ready for our next destination. Why is it spilling? Gross. It's making a mess. We only have about a quarter of a tank empty, but we're leaving Arizona, so $2.99 gas is not going to be common. And this is kind of more expensive. I probably could have gone somewhere cheaper. But I've been using their restroom, so I guess I should be a customer. Right? Okay, nice.